Hello, Taurus. Welcome to your August 2024 tarot card reading. Let's go ahead and see what comes through for you here. All right, Taurus, with an astrology card, we start off with air element, communicating. All right, hold on one second. Okay, so there's a lot going on in Gemini. All right, Mars, Jupiter conjunction in Gemini. This is probably a really good time for you to make sure that you're not holding anything back. Okay, to make sure that you are not refraining for the sake of appeasing someone else. You know, if you want certain things done, if you want to accomplish a certain goal, likely you're going to need people to be able to do that. You're going to have to effectively communicate what it is you want and need. And you're going to have to be very direct and very honest with things. And you're going to have to be able to not only provide feedback, but to receive feedback as well. And this is going to be in a very open forum, non-judgmental. All right. And I do see Taurus operating from a very intellectual place with this card, meaning you're not being driven by unruly emotions or anything right now. I think this is very logical in terms of how to get from point A to point B. And you kind of have, hopefully you have some semblance of a plan. Hopefully you have some semblance of an idea in terms of this step needs to be taken, and then we'll take this step and then this step. And it seems pretty linear. It seems pretty clear. I'm not seeing confusion with this one card. Now we'll see what the rest of the cards have to say, but I'm not really seeing confusion. So to me, this seems like Taurus knows exactly what needs to be done. It's just a matter of doing it at this point. All right. And you might need to be a little bit more vocal, to be a little bit more interactive, to be a little bit more social, to work and operate within some type of a network, to work with people in order to accomplish this sooner rather than later. Because I do feel like there is this sense of, I want to get it done now. Right? This is Leo season. I want to create it now. I want to make it happen now. I don't want to wait. I don't want to have to, And if you're a member of my Soul Seekers group and you're following along on the holistic manifestation course, I've been talking about Leo season for a very long time, since Pisces season when we started the program. And Leo season is a point of focus because the motto is I create. And there's so much attention, and there can be really big leaps of faith that are taken during this time. And hopefully you can start taking much bigger actions now, and you can start taking bigger leaps of faith, bigger risks. You can push yourself in a bigger way and kind of put your back into it a little bit harder to make these kind of quantum leaps, okay? Because I think a lot can get done in a very short period of time. And I love the imagination card because it's kind of like the sky is the limit for you, Taurus. There really is no cap on what you're capable of and what I think you want at this point. And I don't think you should limit it in a realistic way. You can be intellectual and rational about things, but still have very imaginative and high-level goals. When Leo season is active, meaning the sun is in rulership, it's kind of like there really is no point at which there is a ceiling. There is no ceiling here. Okay. So the bigger you go, the better. The harder you go, the better. Now you can still do it in a state of ease. I'm not saying you have to be all stressed and you have to be in this blood, sweat, and tears kind of place. But I do think there has to be inspired action that is taken. And I think you actually want to do those things. I think you're going to actually want to get up and move around and talk to people and go here and there and up and down and all around. I think you're going to want to be doing that because you may just have this wave of excitement. And this has a lot to do with Mars coming into a conjunction with Jupiter as well. You have this wave of excitement regarding the possibilities. Okay. So, don't stop now. Please don't stop. There may be a lot going on behind the scenes. I'm not saying you have to be super public about everything that you've got going on. Fourth house Leo is a very secretive, personal, in your closed space kind of house, but it doesn't mean you're sitting idle doing nothing. It's not a docile placement. There's a lot of activity that can happen in that fourth house. See, I know there is some big leap of faith that you are wanting to take. I know it. I know that there is some choice that you are wanting to make, and maybe you've been putting it off. Maybe you have been telling yourself, now's not the right time. I'm not ready. I'm not financially prepared for that. I don't know how that's going to go. But honestly, I look at that Fool card. I'm like, Taurus, please just go for it. This is the time. This is the time. This is the moment to shake up your world on purpose. Because a lot of times, especially because we've had so much Taurian activity, right? We had the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction. We had Taurus season. We had Venus and Mercury coming through there. We had Mars coming through Taurus, and then the Mars-Uranus conjunction, which we saw was pretty crazy. So, there's been so much focus and emphasis on you. But now that this house is cleared out, now we still have Uranus in there, and Uranus will be slowing down near the end of August, preparing for a retrograde September 1st. So like right out of the gate, September, Uranus retrograde, same day that Pluto re-enters Capricorn. Okay, so the end of August is going to be pretty intense and things are really going to start to happen. And I think that's why I like this moment for you, because it's like, you might as well just do it now. You might as well do it now, because with all that Taurian activity, I know that type of stuff comes with like events. It comes with, conversations. It comes with a change of course. It comes with shaking up your plans a little bit. But now that all of those events are done, those astrological transits are done and over with, and basically your sign is pretty clear with the exception of Uranus, now you can really start to see the real effects of all of that since April. You can really start to see the real results and like, what was all of that chaos for? What was all of that change, all of that intensity, all of that urgency? What was that for? Well, it was for what you're about to do. Okay, because it had to push you to get to this point of readiness. But Taurus, I'm looking at this Knight of Swords, and I think you're like, okay, come on, let's go. Like, you're ready for things to move quickly. You're ready for things to move and to see the actual manifestations of things. And I don't think that's completely illogical. I think very, very realistically, you can start to actualize some stuff in a very short period of time. Because I think you're done. Whenever we get the 10 of Swords, it's like, okay, you're done with something. You're completely done thinking about it. You're done being on that hamster wheel, which seems to be kind of a theme coming out for the month of August. It's like we kind of hit that point where we're like, I'm so sick of this loop that I have found myself in. And maybe there have been times previously where you've sort of psyched yourself out, where you're like, okay, I'm finally off the wheel. I'm finally out of the loop. I'm finally not going to re-enter that recurring thing. And yet somehow you find yourself not able to really change it. This feels like taking this power, especially I'm really liking the Knight of Swords this month. Feels like taking your power back and saying, I refuse. I absolutely refuse to stay in this place. I refuse. And I will do, again, there's a lot of imagination coming through here, because you have to be able to imagine life without that cycle, life without that karma, life without it feeling like you're paying this life debt, okay, or this karmic debt or whatever. You have to be able to imagine a life of ease and freedom, and a life where things are operating well and smoothly without having to like continually go through the series of hoops that you've been going through, okay? Because I think at this juncture, to a degree, now this is one of the things with a Mercury retrograde in Virgo, okay? Because Mercury retrograde is on the 5th. It starts in Virgo. It will go back into Leo. But while it's in Virgo, there is a lot of self-effacing criticism. And I think one of the good things about that is that we discover in what way we are the common denominator. We discover in what way we have contributed to our 10 of Swords, to this recurring place that we've been in for. Because you don't just get 10 swords. 10 swords takes a long time to accrue, right? This is not something that happens overnight. It's something that we've allowed to happen over and over and over and over. And sometimes we do reach that point when we really are like, all right, this is ridiculous, okay? Ridiculous, we're done, it's over, no longer acceptable. and you push away from it. Because I'm seeing not only the Fool, but also the Knight of Swords very much pushing away. It is the only logical thing to do. Again, this is not emotional at all. This is just like for the benefit of your life, for the benefit of your family, for the benefit of your finances, for the benefit of your health and your relationships and whatever. This has to be done because this is not benefiting anyone, right? Like it just has to be done. It's just the only logical thing. Three of Cups. Okay. Three of Cups has been speaking to me a little differently. Now, on one hand, it can be a really good card, okay, because it can speak to, celebration and, celebrating a harvest of some kind. And there's a social aspect to it and being with friends and people that love and support you. And that's all very well and good. But I do want to kind of use it as a word of warning as well, that because to me, this month, it seems to be coming out like an echo chamber where there are people in your life, in your sphere that are kind of just reflecting back your Ten of Swords to you. They're validating the Ten of Swords. They're giving you permission and maybe even encouraging you to stay in the Ten of Swords. Not intentionally. I don't think the Three of Cups people, are maliciously trying to hurt you, okay? But they're trying to be your friend. Now, this may be cultural as well. I think in the United States, we tend to not always be super honest. We tend to just want to be nice because we don't want to hurt people, okay? I think in other cultures, real honesty is a little bit more accepted. It really just depends. But I feel like people just don't want to hurt your feelings, or they just don't want to, cause you any pain or make you feel bad about yourself or whatever. So like they may see your Ten of Swords, but they're like, you know what? You're so smart. You're so beautiful. You're going to figure it out. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. You're fine. It's just this. It's just that. It's just, there's a lot of, justification going on, but we don't want to justify the Ten of Swords. And I think people who are justifying your Ten of Swords and kind of giving you an out on that and making you feel a little bit at ease with the Ten of Swords are actually not doing you a service. It feels a little bit like enabling. Now, this is not necessarily like an addiction or whatever. It's just a recurring thing. But we don't want people who make us feel at ease with the Ten of Swords. What we want are people who are like, yeah, Taurus, what are you doing? Like you're ruining your life, or you're ruining the opportunities, or you're kind of cutting off your future by continually doing this. What are you doing? We want people to be a little bit harsh with us right now because it's going to help us feel motivated to get away from it. Because if we're receiving the feedback that we actually really need, then we are more likely to evolve. Okay. So the echo chambers, you have to be very, very careful. Okay. And probably one of the good things about Leo season being fourth house, being a very private house, one of the good things about that is that maybe you're not really talking about this so much with people. Now, there is communicating going on, but I think the communicating and the brainstorming and whatever is a little bit more productive. It's more about where do I go from here as opposed to keeping this Ten of Swords alive. Okay. So what I am seeing though is this Ace of Coins, which could be a job offer. It could be more money. It could be a romantic offer. It could be just money comes your way or whatever. And your choice of what to do with that is really important. First of all, I see you accepting it. And I look at that Fool card. I'm like, I really, really, really want Taurus to accept this Ace of Coins. I want you to accept it. Now, I don't normally see my Taurians having issues with accepting good things. Hopefully you are able to do that. But it's really also how you nurture it as well. You take that Ace of Coins and you say, okay, this is a chance. This is an opportunity and I don't want to waste it. And I feel as though now the theme of children is pretty strong with Leo. I don't necessarily mean actual children. It's like, let's say a job opportunity comes your way, if you treat that job opportunity like a child that needs to be fed and properly nourished and needs attention and needs emotional support and needs your guardianship, if you treat things that come your way as your children and you nurture them as such, chances are they will thrive. Okay, so not only does the Ace of Coins need to be accepted, but it needs to be fully enveloped, okay, because it's going to need a lot from you. It's going to need your time and your energy and your attention. Now, what I like about that with the Four of Swords right next to it is I feel like this Ace of Coins represents your future, and I think it gives you a sense of peace. It gives you a sense of ease because it seems like there is a bit of urgency with things, but as soon as you get that Ace of Coins, you're like, okay, we got it. Okay, we've kind of hooked in to the future now, and we've kind of detached from the Ten of Swords. We've kind of gotten off of that loop. We've hooked into something. And that's why investment is really, really important. Because if you keep one foot in, one foot out with this Ace of Coins, there's a strong likelihood that as Pluto moves back into Capricorn in September, that you will fall back into the old ways very easily. We have to be so conscious and so hyper aware of our desire to move forward. And we kind of have to realize that, okay, we got to swim against the current a little bit. Now, there will be things that Ten of Swords doesn't necessarily die off immediately, right? We need to understand that, once you get off the merry-go-round, you're going to be a little bit dizzy. And there are some effects of that. And there's remnants of it. And sometimes we want to jump back on the merry-go-round because that's what we know and that's what's familiar. And it's not as disorienting as it is being on solid ground and having the whole world spin, So this can be there's kind of an illusion around it. You may think that something is very much alive when it's not. It's just the remnants. You're just dizzy after the ride. Okay, so you just got to wait and chill until that dizziness and the fog sort of clears out. And the more and more you get your hooks into this Ace of Coins, the more solid your footing, the more, or let's say the less likely you are to get back on that merry-go-round. Okay, so I see you being very much at ease once you get your hooks into that Ace of Coins. It's like the new projects, the new ideas, the new goals, the new stuff is really what's pulling you forward into the future like a vacuum. Okay, so I want you to keep in mind how important these new opportunities actually are, because they are important. Okay. So let's see what comes through with the last row for Taurus. Beautiful, loving the High Priestess. Okay. Yeah, see, there does seem to be a lot of upfront work here. There's a lot of that, like, okay, let's go after it. Let's really make it happen. Let's do it. There's a lot of that. And then the minute that Ace of Coins comes, it's like everything kind of slows down, but not in a bad way, not in a way that you're like, let's actually use having a child as an example. Okay, you're living your life, you're going. You have a child, and suddenly all that energy needs to be put to the child, right? So there's like a big transition that's happening. All the energy is going to the Ace of Coins now. So all this urgency that it took to get the Ace of Coins was needed, it's required. But once that Ace of Coins comes, it kind of all tightens back up again. And I see you so at peace with it. I see you feeling like there's a quiet excitement that seems to be coming through, like where you are internally feeling quite elated, but on the external world, it just appears to be business as usual. But you're vibrating at a very, very high vibration at this point. That Ace of Coins seems to really turn things around, okay? I look at the High Priestess, and it seems that there's, even with the Hanged Man, there seems to be something being revealed to Taurus near the end of August. This probably has a lot to do with Uranus retrograde, okay? There seems to be an illumination of some kind I don't think we always realize how easy it is to get off those merry-go-rounds. I don't think that's always so clear. This was a similar message for Aries. So I feel like, a lot of you are Vedic Arians. You've got Aries in the 12th. So I feel like a lot of the, Aryan energy can easily pull over into your sign. And this is a similar message as what I gave to them. It's like you don't realize how easy it is to manifest or how easy it is to be a magician sometimes. But this is one of those moments where I think you are so aware of the process, so aware of how it works, so aware of how your mind changes and therefore your external world changes, because there is a lot of external world stuff, I feel. Okay? It's not just internal. I feel like a lot of the internal stuff has already happened. That's what all the Taurus transits were for. Internally, you changed. Okay, great. Well, now it's time for the external world to catch up. So yes, it's time for your bank account to see the difference. It's time for your career life to improve. It's time for your relationships to improve based on how you've evolved. Okay? And I think with these two cards, it's like coming into that wisdom and coming into the understanding of how, first of all, how the Ten of Swords even came to be in the first place. And second of all, how simple it actually is and was and always will be to get out of Ten of Swords in the future. It kind of feels like Taurus is documenting their manifestation process, mentally documenting it so that it can be replicated time and time and time again. So that the next time you want to manifest something big, all you have to do is tap into this process, which is, again, getting your hooks into the Ace of Coins and letting your future kind of suck you forward like a vacuum, right? Instead of feeling like you have to carve everything out by hand, manually, in a really hard way. Okay, it's more just nurturing and kind of watering, like the way you would water a seed. You'd make sure it has the right soil, it has the right water, it has the right sunlight so that it can blossom. It's all about the environment. Okay, instead of trying to force it to grow, which is what the Ten of Swords is all about, when you're trying to force something and you reach a point of exhaustion because that forcing just really isn't going to happen. Or sometimes the Ten of Swords can be the opposite, where you're taking a really, really passive approach and just waiting for everything to fall in your lap. I think there's a nice balance here between the masculine and feminine, the receptive and the receptiveness and the ambition, the creativity and the inspiration, right? It just both go hand in hand. So I think you're really starting to see in a more logical, intellectual way how this process really works. And it does work, Nine of Coins. I do think Taurus will actualize results this month and in the months to come. I do see you taking these big leaps. Like, I think the Ace of Coins, it's a chance. And it's you giving yourself a chance at this success. It's giving yourself a chance at the new life or whatever. And the minute you do, it's like, oh, first of all, I think there's a lot of self-respect that comes through this, an enhancement in your confidence, an enhancement in your sense of self-worth and self-value. Because I think by taking that Ace of Coins and getting your hooks into it, it's like that is a sign of how much you love and respect your higher self's plan. And I think this is also you kind of having that conversation with your higher self and saying, okay, higher self, I trust you. I will sink my hooks into this Ace of Coins because I trust this plan. I trust this process. I trust that it is going to carry me away from my Ten of Swords and that it is going to improve my life toward the Nine of Coins. Because there's definitely an improvement between an Ace and a Nine, and it's very quick. Okay? Now, I'm not saying you're going to actualize everything, but I think there's going to be some big steps. You're going to actualize quite a bit. Okay, sorry, my camera's acting weird. It's kind of delayed. So hopefully, I don't know what's going on. All right, let's go ahead and see what comes through with the clarifiers. Now, we're going to pull out a whole bunch of cards. We're going to talk for another 25 to 30 minutes about all these cards. So if you want to join, you are more than welcome. The link for the comprehensive reading will be found in the description box and the pinned comment thread down below. So we're going to go into deep detail about the rest of this reading. So let's see what comes through with the Knight of Swords. What does Taurus need to know here? Five of Swords, Temperance, and the Lovers. Six of Swords, Death. Okay, not surprised to see the Death card at all. Seems like a big, and there's the Magician energy. This actually all feels very magician-y. Nine of Cups, Seven of Wands, and the Page of Coins. We have the Moon card, Ten of Coins, Queen of Cups, Ten of Cups. Beautiful. See, I knew it. I knew that Ace of Coins was important. And we have the beautiful Emperor and the Five of Cups and Four of Wands, Page of Wands, Judgment. Okay. Oh, well, we got four cards. That's fine. Seven of Cups, Four of Cups, and the Nine of Coins. For the Hanged Man, Ten of Wands, Two of Wands, Justice. Beautiful. King of Coins, Four of Coins, and King of Wands. Excellent. All right, so this is where we're going to pick up in the comprehensive Taurus. So if you want to join me, you are more than welcome. Thank you all so much. Have an amazing August, and I'll talk to you soon.